What's up everyone, JLS Gaming here. Welcome back to another video on the channel. Inside of today's video, I am going to be telling you one of the most important things about your competitive gameplay inside Brawl Stars, which are mids and lanes. One important thing you need to know when you're playing high level at Brawl Stars is how to play lanes, what are lanes, why are lanes important, and how you choose your lane. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the video. Like and subscribe to see more Brawl Stars content, and let's go! So starting off the video, what are lanes? You may be thinking, what are lanes? Well, every map has 3 lanes. Maps like Triple Dribble, Shooting Star, every 3v3 map will have 3 lanes that the 3 members of your team each should go 1 lane. In all high-level gameplay, all pro gameplay, you will often see mids and lanes being used, and it's kind of interesting. It makes the gameplay easier to explain and less messy. So there's 1 mid, that's the left and the right lanes. So as you can see on the screen now, every map will have 3 lanes, whether it's this way or 1 in the middle and 2. It's basically alleyways that you can move in or battle in. So why do you think lanes are important? Well, lanes actually help the gameplay a lot to make it more even and interesting, and also less messy and random. Lanes also provide an even fight to both teams, and it allows your team to have full map control. Instead of all bunching up together, you will be team-wide, because if you all bunch up together, no, the saying when you're together, you're stronger does not apply to Brawl Stars, because it makes Mortis be able to team wipe you so much more easily. And in other situations, like a Rosa with a super will be able to team wipe you, you will be so much more easily team wiped by piercing brawlers. So you shouldn't stay together, and you can have full control of the map, and you can do strategies like spawn trapping or flanking when you play in lanes. Spawn trapping involves keeping the enemy pressured back in their spawn, or killing them straight away once their spawn shields wear off. This way you can keep having control of the map and your enemy can do nothing, giving you the win. Another strategy is flanking. Flanking involves sneaking up 2 ways behind an enemy, launching an ambush and getting rid of that enemy. So you can do that by playing lanes once you kill someone in that lane, or you can just sneak up on the mid brawler or something like that once you win your lane. And another important thing about playing lanes is that you won't be flanked, because if you're constantly in 3 lanes, people can't really sneak up on you or on a group, because you are constantly pressuring them in the whole map. So now that you know basically what lanes are and why you need to play in lanes, but one important thing you might be asking is, how do I choose my lane? Which lane should I go to? Well, there's 2 important things that affect which lane you should go to. But first, when you play an important high-level match or in a challenge, you will be playing lanes. So you need to have a way of communicating with your teammates so that you can tell them which lane you want to go, when you want to go to which lane, and how you're going to be playing. Or like if you can pressure them or that brawler is low, then you two can like get out of your lane to get a brawler and then try to take back lane control. But how do you choose your lanes? One important thing you need to do when choosing lanes, you need to observe the map elements. So there are 3 main map elements: open areas, bushes, and walls. If that lane has a lot of walls, you should go a thrower or a tank, because throwers and tanks are better with more walls. If that place has a lot of bushes and walls, you should go a tank. If that lane is an open area, you should go a long range brawler like Belle, Bee, or Piper because they are better on that place. So you should choose your lanes based on how advantageous they are to the brawler you are using and how better suited they are to the brawler you're playing. On a map like Triple Dribble, you see that lane where there's only one long wall in the middle and the rest of it is open. The either right or left lane, it can be different right or left depending on which side of the map you spawn on, but still that lane is called a long lane. A long lane is a lane where long range brawlers are much better, and a famous example is the long lane of Triple Dribble. So on there right now, the best pick for that map is Rico because Rico is good on the long lane. If Rico is banned, you can go like Bee or Belle in the long lane because they are really good in long range areas. So you should definitely go. And then in Triple Dribble, the other parts of the map are pretty enclosed, so you could go a tank or a thrower like Tick in the mid is always good on Triple Dribble because he can cover the whole map, not only fighting his own lane but also providing support to your teammates' lanes, which can be really handy in some tough situations. And Tick can also control the directions that enemies choose to move because his mines can cover so much of the map. If you play Tick well, you're gonna have a good time on Triple Dribble. So Triple Dribble is just one example. There are many other maps that have interesting lanes which makes the brawlers that are good on that map different, and you need to study them and look for some guides on them, maybe on YouTube or on other places. You can easily find guides for many different maps, which lanes to use, which mids to use, what brawlers are good there because of the map elements. So another thing you need to know when you're choosing your lane is the best matchups for your brawler. Brawlers that you are good against or brawlers that you counter, you should go on that lane to that brawler. Like for example, you're a Colonel Ruffs and they have a Stu on the enemy team. You should go fight in the Stu lane because Colonel Ruffs counters Stu with his sandbags. Stu cannot pierce through Ruff's sandbags, so with Ruff's sandbags from his gadget, you are gonna have a good time against that Stu, which is why you should go against a Stu as a Ruffs or even a Tara with her gadget. Or maybe like you're a Mortis and the enemy is a thrower, you should take that thrower lane because Mortis is good against throwers. Sometimes the counters may not be so obvious, but it can still come in handy to help you win your fight. Like Piper counters Belle because Piper can 2-tap Belle and also has the same range as Belle, or Belle counters Amber. So it may not be as obvious of a counter, but you should still choose the lane that you are good against, and it'll make it so much easier for you to win your lane, helping your team in the battle. Another important thing to know is when you should switch lanes. But switching lanes is changing lanes with your teammate. Let's say your teammate's in the mid, you're on the right lane, and you're actually using a mid brawler. So you go to the mid and your teammate moves to the right lane. That is switching lanes. But when should we switch lanes? And when shouldn't we switch lanes? Well, we shouldn't switch lanes when we are halfway battling in a tricky spot in your lane. If you move out of that lane, the enemy brawler can take advantage of that and it will be really difficult for your team. They can come up and pressure, and if you move lane while your enemy is still alive, it may leave your lane exposed, allowing your enemies to push back up and regain control of part of the map. So you should never switch lanes in that situation. Another time you shouldn't switch lanes is if the process of switching lanes makes you exposed and your enemy is still alive or you have low health. on maps like Backyard Bowl, if you switch lane in that open area, it leaves you exposed. On your screen now, the circled part of that map is an open area that will leave you exposed if you switch lanes. I remember last time when Tribe EU were facing BIG switched lanes in that position, and Tribe took advantage of that and killed both the brawlers that were trying to switch lanes, and they gained control of the map and had an opportunity to score a goal. So you shouldn't be switching lanes in that position. But when you should switch lanes is when your enemy is pinned back or pressured backwards or in their spawn. You can quickly take advantage of that to switch lanes. But whenever you switch lanes, you should tell your teammate that you are going to do so that he will also switch with you, or else you'll both be in the same lane and you'll be leaving the other lane open. Another time you can switch lanes is when you and your teammate both win your lane. When you both win your lane, you can switch lanes because there's no one to kill you or take advantage of you switching lanes. And switching lanes can be really useful sometimes because some brawlers are not suitable in that lane. They can go to the mid or whatever, and you can also have a better matchup by switching lanes. So yeah, one thing you should know is that you shouldn't keep playing in lanes the whole match. Some situations require you to group with your teammates, like if there's one brawler surrounded, the mid brawler can go slightly into that lane to corner that brawler and take that enemy down together. So in situations like that, you shouldn't keep staying in lanes. In messier games, it's not always in lanes also, so definitely try and keep that in mind. So now here is a complete tier list of the best lanes and mids. The number one, so there's two levels, lanes and mids. Those brawlers are better played in a lane or in a mid. And also the ranking is by number one. Like in the mid tier, Jean is number one, Belle is number two, then number three. That's how you see the number 1, 2, and 3. So yeah, definitely take some time to study the tier list. You can screenshot it if you want. And it's also a small reward for sticking until this part of the video. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this video and you learned more about Brawl Stars gameplay from this video. I hope you can become a better player by watching that video, and now you have more knowledge of how to become a good Brawl Stars player. And I'll see you guys in the next video of more quality Brawl Stars content.
Cool.